Welcome back to our channel. This is Advancing Aiden, and we embrace the chaos where ADHD meets organization. This is definitely going to sound like I can't figure out how to do this and not sound like super hippy dippy recorded and all of that, you guys. I struggle so much with this kind of a video format. I don't know where to look when I'm talking to you because I feel like if I look at the camera, it's like creepy. So I do use a teleprompter, which is really helpful. So basically, I'm just gonna get into it. First, this was supposed to be posted last week. This video, it's just been a hot mess. But if you are new here, hi, I'm Becca. I'm Advancing Aiden with my husband Nick, and I have ADHD. Instead of falling off the wagon and beating myself over the head and assuming that I am an absolute failure because I missed one post that I wanted to on my YouTube, I am going to celebrate all of the things I did get done last week, including a huge secret that took about 12-ish hours of our work week last week. And I'm going to tell you, it's okay to not get everything out on time. I'm also going to tell myself that. I'm trying to get a Plan With Me video out every 2-ish weeks, and that is what I'm doing. Like, this one is coming out in 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks after the last one. Super fast. I'm going to tell you what we're going to use, and I'm going to link them all in the description. We're using the Kawaii Sass pen set, the Fixation Station pen set, and some of the Progress Over Perfection soft touch highlighters, and I'm pairing those up with the Sparkle highlighters and the Advancing Aiden highlighters. The planner is my week at a glance doodle planner. I personally like it in spiral. That's what you're going to see me using, but it does come in a desk pad and laminated. I kind of think that's all, so I am going to stop rambling and we'll get right into the plan with me. Today, I want to talk about something that changed how I think about myself in a corporate setting and why my planners are laid out the way that they are. Each planner is laid out specifically to help with a task that at one time someone complained that I did differently or not the way that they expected. Let's start by talking about the top 3 complaints I heard as an adult with ADHD in corporate America and what I think about each one of them and kind of what I did about them. The top 3 complaints I heard from my corporate job were your brain just moves too fast. You can process information at such a fast rate that it is intimidating to your coworkers. My second one was you take too many notes. Don't take notes, just sit still and listen. The third one was you're so inflexible with your schedule. Why won't you just take a same day meeting or stay late or come in early? And yes, these are real things that got said to me. Your brain just moves too fast. Let's talk about that one. Your brain just moves too fast. You can process information at such a fast rate that it's intimidating to your coworkers. I wish you could see the side eye that I side eyed when I got that comment. And I have gotten it more than once. It definitely prompted me to design my planners to capture additional thoughts, questions, roadblocks, or potential risks that may arise during meetings. And it's not really even the risks during the meetings, it's the solutions that are proposed during the meetings. I could see things that other people might not be able to right away. Some people would say that makes ADHD my superpower, but during my studies, that actually means that the neurodivergent brain seeks dynamic activity, allowing for the perception or recognition of connections or patterns that may not be immediately apparent to others. This heightened awareness may stem, in my opinion, from years of masking and observing people to navigate social situations, extending that perceptive ability to other areas. I learned through working with my therapist to come up with responses to comments like that. And I found it really helpful. My favorite one that we worked out is I definitely hear this in my corporate voice, but I would send it an email. I appreciate your observations regarding my intelligence. It is very important to note that everyone has unique strengths and areas of expertise. My goal and focus is on contributing positively to our work and achieving our shared goals. If you have any concerns or suggestions related to our projects, I'm open to discussing them collaboratively. However, it is essential to recognize that individuals' reactions to one another's abilities are subjective, and my primary responsibility is to deliver quality work and foster a productive work environment. Yes, I definitely have sent that in a corporate email, but basically, that's my take on that. So, what about our second one? And this one makes my blood boil. During a meeting, the COO or Chief Operating Officer of the company absolutely shocked me by saying I shouldn't take notes and should just sit still and listen. I hope you're catching the air quotes. It caught me off guard. I have planners for daily tasks, meeting notes, brainstorming, and I wasn't disrupting the meeting. I definitely believe the power dynamics in the workplace need challenging, and I regret not responding more effectively in that moment. Later, with guidance from both my business mentor and my therapist, I did develop a response, and my response says, I wanted you to know that I heard your feedback. I have found that taking notes helps me process and retain information more effectively. This practice is scientifically proven if you would like to learn more. This is a key part of my learning and contribution process. I do understand the importance of active listening, and for many, this is active listening. I will continue to ensure I'm fully engaged in discussion. If you have any specific preferences or suggestions on how I can best contribute for your meetings, I am open to discussing and adapting my approach to better support your needs. Basically, what I was aiming for with this approach is to make sure that he knew that I acknowledged his feedback while also clearly emphasizing that a change would be to accommodate him and not because note taking is ineffective. This last point that we're going to talk about is number 3, and it's the when someone says you're so inflexible with your schedule, why won't you just take a same day meeting, stay late, come in early? How do you respond to someone challenging your schedule? First, let's talk about why planners are so important. There's a bunch of reasons. First, visual representation. Being able to visualize your workload via a planner helps you make sure you don't overextend yourself and leave enough time for tasks assigned, not just meetings or classes or commitments that you have. Another way that they help are advanced planning. I am not a good advanced planner. When you build your planning skills, you help support your executive function. This can also help prevent double booking, task drop off, priority mismanagement, and ultimately, like I'm all too familiar with, burnout. Prioritization and time blocking. I cannot emphasize enough. Have criteria for prioritization. As an employee, set it up with your manager what constitutes a high priority, then time block your schedule accordingly. I always scheduled task time on my calendar, so I have set time aside to get what is assigned to me done. The other thing it helps do is communication of boundaries. Your planner is there to help back you up and help you visualize your own boundaries. Using your planners and calendars to help communicate your boundaries is so helpful. It also helped me be flexible with parameters. I always say, while it seems rigid or inflexible, I am always open to making adjustments within reasonable limits. I do not ever overschedule my lunch anymore. And if the meeting requirement is for after I was supposed to leave, I would offer to take it via a phone call or move something for the next day. I also made a habit of keeping one spot open for emergencies, and if I didn't need it, we all know there's always something you can fit into that time block. It's definitely a struggle, and once I recognized that often I wasn't upset with like my employee or my coworker or my husband or a friend, but I was actually upset because my schedule was changed or expectations were changed, I was able to work through things that helped me function better. Ultimately, we teach people how to treat us. And I allowed people to overrun my boundaries and set unrealistic expectations. And it was really difficult. As I worked to change that, I often received pushback from people I used to accommodate fully. I had a response that I worked on as a copy paste response for emails or messages through like Teams or Slack. I understand the frustration completely. I have been taking steps to maintain better control over my schedule and tasks with the full support of, and insert whoever you want right here, to foster a more sustainable and productive work environment. Well, I remain committed to assisting with urgent matters. I do believe in planning ahead to ensure I can deliver the best results possible. If you need support urgently today, I do have office hours in, and just put whatever your office hours are. And you can come chat with me then, or we can work together to accommodate a meeting tomorrow that works best for both our schedules. I believe that effective planning benefits both of us and contributes to a more efficient and successful workload. Let me know if you want to use my office hours or go ahead and send over a meeting for tomorrow that works. My schedule is always up to date. And I know that seems a little bit extra, but it was very helpful. Long story really short, the more I realized that I was forcing my brain to work against itself, the more I realized that I could put systems in place that actually reasonably worked for me, like setting expectations around 5 alarm fire priorities with my boss. So I understood what they constituted as an emergency. So I didn't have to worry if I was going to drop something else critical or not prioritize as much as they wanted me to. I think the biggest struggle for me was not being able to use my executive functioning to prioritize as everybody else expected me to prioritize. And prioritization was a huge struggle for me, which is why I really love the task planner and working with my manager to create priorities. Using a planner has been so beneficial to me because it allows me to show anyone the workload, tasks, and responsibilities in a really visual manner. I often would use the daily or weekly planner and go to that individual and I would say, I would love to accommodate this request. Let's work together to deprioritize something else. Frequently, the thing that was so important that we had to do today wasn't after that discussion. It really did help everyone plan effectively. So I guess my question is to you guys, what complaints do you get in the workplace or school place that are ultimately ADHD? And what systems, I can't even speak, what systems can we work together to put in place that will help you help others understand how your brain functions? And I know I say your, but it's mine and ours. Like ADHD is no joke. I use this same concept now that I work full time at Advancing Aiden. I use the weekly planner on a regular basis with my husband to kind of show him what I'm planning. We've worked in his schedule so that we can visualize what the other person is working on. It's wildly helpful just to be able to see. Once you can put it on paper, it is so helpful. Also, can we just look at how pretty this glitter is? And yes, I got very, very distracted by that. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. What are you guys using your weekly planner for, or your daily planner, or any of your planners? And it doesn't have to be a doodle planner. I want to hear from you guys. What are you doing to help visualize and verbalize your tasking, your scheduling, your priorities? What are you guys doing that's helping you communicate your scheduling boundaries? Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time.